Assalamu alaikum dear students and welcome to our course of Tajweed. In this course, inshallah, we're intending to explain all the Tajweed rules and this will be the first class in the course. Today, inshallah, we're taking the rules of Noon Sakinah and Tanween. But just before we get into this, let's know what is Noon Sakinah and what is Tanween. So basically, from the Arabic classes, we know the Noon Sakinah. We know that the Noon Sakinah is the Noon that have the Sukoon on the top. This had like Sukoon on the top. Okay? But in Quran, actually, this Noon Sakinah can be written in two different ways. Either this form with the hat like Sukoon on the top, or that form here with no signs on the top. Okay? So it can be written with two ways in Quran. This one or that one. And actually, each one have like a condition to be written with. Inshallah, we expose to these conditions later, bi'idhnillah. But just now, we just should know that the Noon Sakinah have two forms to be written with in the Quran. Either the form with the hat like spoon on the top or the form with no signs above. Okay? And we have actually one additional Noon with this circular sukoon on the top, but this one is not found in Quran. It's just used in the everyday Arabic writing, but it's not used in Quran. Okay, so the two forms that are found in Quran are only these two forms: the Noon with the hat like sukoon on the top, and the Noon with no signs above. Okay, this is the Noon Sakinah. Now let's go to the Tanween. The Tanween is actually the doubling of the Haraka. So it's the two Fatha, can be two Fatha, two Kasra, okay, and two Dhamma. Okay, can take this form, two parallel Fatha, two parallel Kasra, and a Dhamma and its cover. This is the first form, or the second form. The two slanted Fatha, not typically parallel, two slanted Kasra, not typically parallel as well, and two separated Dhamma, not a Dhamma and its cover. And as well, these two forms have conditions, like we can write every one of them according to which rule we are going to apply. And we'll expose to this inshallah in details during the course. So we have this form of Tanween here and that form of Tanween here. Okay? Okay. So now we knew how is the Noon Sakinah and Tanween written in Quran, what are their shapes in Quran. But there is still a question. Why are we saying the rules of Noon Sakinah and Tanween? Why are we saying this word? Why are we putting the Tanween and the Noon Sakinah in the same category? Why are we making the same rules with both Noon Sakinah and Tanween? Although they are different. This is the Noon Sakinah and this is the Tanween. Well, the answer is simple, and we can answer this question by knowing what is Tanween. So we can define Tanween with two perspectives. The first one, when it comes to the writing, the Noon is the doubling of the harf. Okay, so when it comes to the writing, when we look at how is Tanween written, it's the doubling of the haraka. We have two fatha, two kasra, and two dhamma. This is the Tanween. Tanween, fath, kasr, dhamma. So we are doubling the haraka when we write the Tanween. But when it comes to the pronunciation, the Tanween is actually a Noon Sakin. Okay, so the Tanween is the doubling of the haraka when it comes to the writing, but it's a Noon Sakina when it comes to the pronunciation. For example, a word like this here. Kitaban. How do we pronounce it? We pronounce it that way. Kitaban, ban with the noon at the end, okay? And actually, we build our rules of Tajweed according to how do we pronounce the word, not how do we write it, okay? So Tajweed actually is based on how do we pronounce the words of the Quran. So when we pronounce the Tanween as a noon sakina, it was treated totally as a noon sakina. It took all the rules of the noon sakina. Okay, so this is why we're calling the topic is the rule of Noon Sakina and Tanween, because the same things that we are applying on the Noon Sakina, we're applying them on the Tanween as well, because the Tanween is a Noon Sakina when it comes to that pronunciation. Okay? Okay, so now the rules of Noon Sakina and Tanween have four rules actually. We have Idhar, Idgham, and Idgham may be Idgham with Gunna or without Gunna. And we have Iqlab and then Ikhfa. These are the four rules of Noon Sakin and Tanween. Before we start explaining the four rules of Noon Sakin and Tanween that we just mentioned, we have to know one important thing. We have to know that each one of these four rules are composed actually of two parts. Okay, the first part is always the Noon Sakina or the Tanween. Okay, this is the first part is always the Noon Sakina or the Tanween, and the second part will be always the letter following the Noon Sakina or Tanween, which is called a specific letter. Okay, so each one of these four rules that we just mentioned has some specific letters that if one of them found after the Noon Sakina or Tanween, we would apply this rule other than the other three rules. Okay, so let's take an example. For example, this one here, من يعمل. Okay, من يعمل. We find that this one here is the first the first part, which is the noon sakina here, and the second part is the ya, okay, which is directly following the noon sakina. So the first part is the noon sakina, and the second part will be the ya, which is the specific letter. And later, inshallah, we know that this ya is specific for idgham, and we know how to apply this idgham rule. But for now, I just want you to know which is the first part and which is the second part. So the first part here is the noon sakina, and the second part is the ya after it. Let's take another example. Aliman Hakima. Aliman Hakima. So here the first part is the tanween with this alif added after. Okay, this is the first part. The tanween with the alif added due to the tanween. And the second part is the letter directly following this tanween, which is the ha letter here. This is the second part. Okay, so the first part is the tanween with the alif added with it, and the second part is the ha, okay, after the tanween. This is the first and the second part. Last example in this part here, which is jannatin aliyah. Jannatin aliyah. And this example is really, really important to concentrate with. Because this example here with the tanween kasra and the tanween dam as well, we have no extra letters added, like the tanween fath. The tanween fath, where we're adding an extra alif at the end of the word, like this example up here. Okay, but this example, jannatin aliyah, we don't have any extra letters. We just have the additional haraka that was added to the ta marbuta. So the ta at the first place just had one kasra. Now we added this second kasra to it. So this second kasra represents the tanween, which is the first part. Okay? So now in this example, the first part is only the second kasra. And if the tanween was tanween dam, the second part would be only the second dhamma. Okay? So this is the first part, the second kasra in the tanween. And the second part, as we know, is the letter that directly following the first letter or the first part, which is the ayn letter here. Okay, this is the second part. And finally, brothers and sisters, Jazakumullah khairan for watching. May Allah accept from you. If you have any question regarding the topic that was explained today, just don't hesitate. Text me, inshallah, I'll be available at any time. You'll find the link at the description of the channel, and you're all welcomed at any time. Assalamu alaikum.